I'll be honest, for a while, I wasn't sure if Yellowstone had anything left to surprise me. After 1883 hit me in the gut and 1923 broke my heart, I felt like we were nearing the end of the Dutton family's origin story. After all, there is only so much tragedy that we can handle, and I doubt we could go beyond 1923 finale when it comes to the heartbreaking origin stories. And then, 1944 got announced, and with the revelations of the plot and the cast, once again, it became clear that this origin story still has a lot to offer. So, let's talk about it. This new series will be the third chapter in the Dutton origin saga, following 1883 and 1923. And just like those two, it's set during a defining time in American and Dutton history. As the title suggests, the story unfolds during World War II. That puts us about 21 years after the ending of 1923, which means John Dutton II, who is expected to be the son of Spencer and Alexandra, will probably be in his early 20s. That's right. The man who eventually becomes the father of Kevin Costner's John Dutton in Yellowstone is now stepping into the spotlight, which is very exciting to me. But let me know what you think about it. As I'm sure a lot of you remember, the finale of 1923 gave us one of the most bittersweet endings in the entire Yellowstone universe. After everything Spencer and Alexandra went through, Alexandra died from frostbite shortly after giving birth to their baby. It was heartbreaking, to say the least. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but a part of me is still resenting at Taylor Sheridan for causing such a trouble to Alexandra. Still, her death will definitely be extremely effective in shaping John Dutton II. He will be raised as an orphan, and the loss of his mother will forever hurt him. So, we will witness a Dutton figure who is more broken than anyone else we got to know so far. Here's a surprising twist, though. At a For Your Consideration event earlier this year, Julia Schlipfer, who plays Alexandra, said she'd be open to coming back to the franchise, even though her character died. She said, "I know Brandon Sklenar was lobbying for me to be a ghost. I'd be an Alex ghost for sure." And honestly, if we get Ghost Alex talking to her grown-up son or quietly appearing to Spencer during a moment of grief, I wouldn't be mad at the show at all. But let me know what you think. That being said, I have to admit, we don't have an official cast list yet, but the door is wide open for returns. Brandon Sklenar could definitely come back as an older, more hardened version of Spencer. He already said multiple times in interviews that he would be more than willing to reprise the role. Even though Alexandra's gone, I don't think Spencer's love for her ever died, and watching him raise their son, or maybe mentor him as he prepares for war, would be a beautiful, emotional continuation of their story. But of course, we know from the ending of 1923 that he will also have a romance with a widower, and this was mentioned so intentionally that I can't help but to wonder, what will the contribution of this woman to the Dutton history? And yes, she will make an appearance in 1944 for sure. In fact, she will be a central figure in shaping John Dutton II. Michelle Randolph, who played Elizabeth, is another likely return. As you know, she survived the events of 1923 and stayed connected to the Dutton family. So it wouldn't be surprising to see her return as a caretaker or mentor figure to young John Dutton II. Some even argue that she is the widow that Spencer will have a relationship. But personally, I'm not a fan of that idea. Let me know if you ship the two characters, though. And then there's the legendary duo, Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. Believe it or not, Jacob and Cara Dutton both survived the finale of 1923, which came as a surprise to the actors themselves. Harrison Ford told The Hollywood Reporter, "I'm still alive. It was fantastic. I thought it was very tight storytelling, and I was absolutely delighted with it." When asked if he'd return, he said that if Taylor Sheridan asked nicely, he'd consider it. He said, "I have no idea what his Sheridan's plans are, but clearly, he is ready to star in 1944 if needed," which is always great to hear. Mirren had a similar reaction. She said, "I was convinced I was going to die." She laughed at the same event. "So I was quite surprised I was still alive at the end of the show." She also had a beautiful reflection on the show's ending, saying, "I love the fact that the future of Yellowstone is left in this tiny baby, in the arms of two older people, grandparents' ages. I thought that was a very interesting concept. I mean, they both would be around 100 years old, which is not impossible, but also unlikely, especially in that era. But still, it is always a possibility to get them in flashback scenes, which is so exciting." Another name that is mentioned is Samuel L. Jackson. I know, it sounds so out of nowhere, and I get you. But as you know, Matthew McConaughey was in talks with Sheridan for 1944, which did not lead to anywhere so far. Then, Morgan Freeman got mentioned, and it did not go anywhere either. And then, this week, Samuel came out and said that he wants to star in a Yellowstone show, and is not currently in talks with Taylor for it. I mean, is there a show that can fit Samuel better than 1944? I doubt so. Especially considering the era, I feel like Samuel can add a lot to the story as a black man, sharing his experiences in this particular time. Because what makes 1944 even more compelling is its backdrop. Setting the show during World War II isn't just historically interesting, it has huge implications for the Duttons. We've seen them endure the Wild West, the Great Depression, and family tragedies. But war is a new territory for family. John Dutton II is fighting age, and America's right in the middle of a global conflict. So expect lots of war discussions and action-packed scenes in 1944. So Samuel can be a comrade and mentor to John Dutton too. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a fan of this idea. Right now, we don't know if this will be a one-season epic like 1883 or if it'll stretch across multiple seasons like 1923. But some whispers suggest it could be a two-season story, one that might even take us into the 1960s, when John Dutton III, who is Kevin Costner's version, would have been a kid. That could be the final bridge connecting the prequels to the main Yellowstone timeline. Either way, Sheridan is once again writing the episodes himself, just like he did with the first two chapters. And if the budget for 1923 was the highest of his career, I wouldn't be surprised if 1944 surpasses that, especially with the war setting. Full-scale battle scenes, vintage sets, emotional character arcs, it's going to be a lot. As for the release date, don't hold your breath for anything in 2025. Sheridan's got a full plate, and this show is still in development. Most signs point to production kicking off in late 2025, which would put the premiere sometime in late 2026. For more weekly updates on Yellowstone franchise, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.